everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Wednesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I've got an article for you from the healthcare website pulsetoday.co.uk, and the headline reads: Government launches consultation on minimum standards for GP autism and learning disability training. The article was written by a lady called Anna Cavolci on the 29th of June. So again, it's arrived in my inbox a little bit late, but as an autistic woman who is diagnosed, I thought I would talk about it. I've got my notes to keep me on track, so let's get into it. The government is calling on a draft code of practice which will ensure health and care staff, including GPs, receive learning disability and autism training appropriate to their role and seniority. Since July last year, all CQC registered health and social care providers, including GP practices in England, have been required to provide training for their staff in learning disability and autism, including how to interact with autistic people who may also have a concurrent learning disability. The legal requirement was introduced by the Health and Care Act in 2022, but the government has now launched the Oliver McGowan Code of Practice, which outlines how providers can meet these new requirements. The British Medical Association GP Committee has said last month that the Act does not specify a training package or course for any staff. The CQC cannot tell practices specifically how to meet these legal requirements in relation to any training. The government draft code says that the CQC registered providers must ensure that all staff, regardless of their role or level of seniority, have the right attitude and skills to support people with a learning disability and autism, and will need to demonstrate to the CQC how their training meets or exceeds the standards that have been set out within this draft code of practice. The code is named after Oliver McGowan, who was an autistic teenager with a mild learning disability who passed away sadly after a severe reaction to medication. His family had called for him not to receive. So basically this is to stop things happening again to people like Oliver and to people like myself. In 2019, the government committed to develop a learning disability and autism training package to be made available to all health and social care staff. The training has been trialled to over 8,000 participants and independently evaluated to ensure that the final package is robust and high enough quality. Health Minister Maria Coldfield said, "People with a learning disability and autistic people deserve care that is personalised to them, and it is important for them to have the right skills to provide this. We want as many people as possible to continue this consultation as we keep helping towards a society where everybody knows their needs will be met when they walk into a hospital or care setting." Tom Carhill, the National Director for Learning Disability and Autism at NHS England, has said, "This is a significant step forward towards improving awareness, knowledge and skills of all health and social care staff in looking after and supporting people with a learning disability and or autism. The Oliver McGowan training on learning disability and autism will make sure that staff will be aware of people with a learning disability and or autism will receive the right levels of support that meets their individual talents and needs." The consultation about this closes on the 19th of September. So as soon as I hear any more about it, I will update you with a further updated video. So, what are my thoughts as an autistic woman about this new legislation standards? My thoughts as an autistic woman is that I am very happy finally that GPs have standards they have to achieve to care for patients with a learning disability and or autism, to make sure that we get the right support at the right time by the right people that we're entitled to. But I do also worry about how the government is using this as a tick box exercise to say they've achieved working with people like myself. As previously there has been so much talk how to better support people with a learning disability and or autism, and nothing seems to have been done or followed up. But I'm hoping that this time the GPs and bosses at NHS England seem to be taking the rights and responsibilities of people with learning disabilities and autism at the forefront of this new training. I hope that they've also involved people with a learning disability and or autism within this new consultation period, because this is new guidance which affects our future care and our future treatment by the health and social care sector and staff. So that's kind of where I wanted to talk about it. This, again, to me, I am slightly concerned because obviously this is a big consultation. It doesn't close until September. I will link the article down below in the video description so you guys can read more about it. It is quite a long article. I just kind of summarized it into the basics of what I needed to talk about because I didn't want this video to be too long. But yeah, this is something that I'm very pleased about. I think it's going to be a really good thing for everybody concerned, regardless if you're non-verbal or verbal with a learning disability and or autism. Hopefully our rights will be respected and will be listened to, will be valued, and hopefully the health and social care staff will have more appropriate and suitable training to our needs, because let's face it, the NHS, no disrespect to it as bad as it is now, there isn't enough training with regards to autism within or learn to speak within the NHS or care establishments. I've found very little support when I've accessed services. It's been very poor. I can list one example when I had my carpal tunnel done back in December, January, and the doctor tried to send my mum away when they knew that I was anxious and they knew that I was autistic, and I literally had to nearly cry, say, no, I want my mum to stay with me, please don't send her away. And the doctor was like, well, she can't be here. And I was like, I won't have it done then. And then when they realised that I had autism, oh, okay, we didn't realise, and it was all, I had to go back and forwards with the doctor and the registrar to make sure that my mum was able to stay at the surgery site whilst I was having the operation, because obviously I was quite overwhelmed. I'm autistic, I'm anxious, so again, it's things like that that shouldn't have happened. So again, hopefully having this consultation period, having this legislation in place to protect our rights, our treatment, our care in the future if we need to access NHS services or care services or community care services, we will have our rights upheld legally and not just talked down to or ignored or brushed aside because we happen to have a learning disability and or autism. This is something that could be a really positive step forward to, like the NHS England guys said, to increase that awareness, that respect, that dignity, that compassion, that empathy, to get our voices heard, our rights heard, and hopefully the NHS staff will take autism and learning disability a bit more seriously, because again, some of us do struggle to communicate, like myself. Yes, I may be verbal and able to do these videos for you and show that I'm able to talk, but again, it's all practice, it's scripting. I've had to literally sit here and make sure that my words are coming out. And yeah, I just want to talk about this because I felt it was the right thing to do. It was important to raise this profile. And like I said, I will link it down below. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Do you think it's going to be a good thing, a bad thing for people learning disabilities and autism? Or let me know if you think it's a tick box exercise. Like, I'm slightly concerned that it might be just a tick box. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed hearing my perspective on this article, and I shall update you when I know more. Bye for now.